Right then, we are back, and today we have Pat Tanaka going one-on-one against Terry Funk. Now, this match did happen on ECW television back in 1994. Pat Tanaka challenged Terry Funk for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship at the time. And Pat Tanaka is one of those guys who, as far as I'm aware, is a very underrated wrestler in history as well. One half of the Orient Express, which is the one match he's ever had for us in the Universe mode before. That was back at our Invasion pay-per-view. We did the Orient Express versus the Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express. Orient Express was unsuccessful in that match, so Pat Tanaka currently sits on -1 after 1. And this is his big opportunity to pick up his first victory here in SWE, but facing Terry Funk one-on-one is not going to be easy at all, especially when Terry Funk is still trying to build up some momentum moving into that SWE Hardcore Championship match on Sunday against The Undertaker in the main event of our November to Remember special. And Terry Funk then, I think he's pretty high in our rankings now, especially after that win the other day. He's on +10 after 27 matches, up in 37th position in the ranking system. And this is a great chance to continue building that momentum into the pay-per-view. And of course, Undertaker had that momentum when he first came up against Terry Funk. However, Taker then lost that momentum last week when he faced off and lost against Electroshock in the YouTube Tag Team Championship #1 contendership match. He did rebuild some of that momentum by defeating Electroshock one-on-one on Sunday's Halloween Havoc, but if Terry Funk can get another win here, he will have that momentum and go into that match against The Undertaker in a much stronger position potentially. And this is the first of 2 matches today. Later on, we will have a rematch of ECW's November to Remember 1994. Chris Benoit versus Sabu in a match where in real life Sabu ended up breaking his neck. So it's a bit of a... it's in the ECW history books, maybe for the wrong reasons, but it's in there. I should have looked at ECW. Let me have a look at ECW and see what the best matches in history were. Match guide, rating... The best match ever in history apparently was Jack Victory, Steve Corino and Tajiri versus New Jack, Sandman and Tommy Dreamer. Juventud Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr. is probably the best match they had. It was a 5-star match according to Wrestling Newsletter, and it was an 8.78 out of 10 after 205 votes. It's pretty high. Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio Jr. in the best 2 out of 3 falls match. We did that earlier in the week. It's RVD Sabu, RVD Jerry Lynn, Masato Tanaka versus Mike Awesome, Super Crazy versus Tajiri, Tanaka versus Awesome again. Little Guido and Tony Marmaluke versus Mikey Whipwreck and Tajiri was apparently an amazing match somehow. Okay. Some interesting ones. I think we've got all the main ones on our card so far. There's a few people I still haven't yet managed to book. Tommy Dreamer, Just Incredible, Lance Storm, New Jack and Raven are the ones that I've got noted down, and Chris Candido potentially as well. I'm going to do it, you know. We've got RVD and Sabu versus the Eliminators. I'm going to make that a triple threat match with the Impact players, and that's going to allow us to use Just Incredible and Lance Storm on the pay-per-view in that tag team match. I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do it or not yet, but my plan is to potentially do a TLC match, but do it with pinfall and submission rather than climb the ladder, because ladder matches don't really work on this game, so I think that might be a better way of doing it. And that gets Credible and Storm booked. We have 1 spare match on the cut. I tell you what, we've got 1 spare match left on the pay-per-view, and I've got Tommy Dreamer, Raven and New Jack. Could we do a triple threat match? Doesn't really squeeze Chris Candido in anywhere, though, does it, to be honest, but I don't know what to do with Chris Candido. He's someone we should use, really. And Steve Corino as well. Steve Corino missed out on the entire Invasion pay-per-view as well. I also have the chest figure. There's just so many people I want to use every week, that's the problem, but I don't want to overdo it. Especially at this lifespan of the game. The game is not that popular at this point in time, and the views have really dropped off over the last couple of weeks as well, so I don't want to go too over the top and waste my time, really. But at the same time, yeah, it's a balance in that, because I want to record some other stuff at the same time, but I want to... There's still a load of this stuff I want to do. It's tricky. It's tricky. Of course, it is Extreme Rules. All of the ECW matches will be Extreme Rules unless otherwise mentioned. So, no countouts, no disqualifications, but pinfalls and submissions have to take place inside the ring. And these are not... Well, Terry Funk is. Terry Funk is somebody who loves his weapons, isn't he, really? But Pat Tanaka, I don't really see Pat Tanaka much as a hardcore wrestler. I think he's a bit more classical. Let's have a look and see a Pat Tanaka on Cage Match. Because like I said, as far as I'm aware, he was very underrated. Pat Tanaka is pretty underrated on here as well. He's got a 5.23 out of 10 rating. After 51 votes. Pat Tanaka was a fine, unremarkable worker. His biggest selling point was his outrageous bumps he could take. Okay, it was sort of like that sort of high fly then. Because I was thinking Pat Tanaka versus Ricky Steamboat could be an interesting one. One of the best enhancement talents of the early 90s. Oh, so he was there to sort of help put some of the other talents over by the sounds of it. Doesn't sound like he was ever a big star anywhere. Let's have a look at his championship history. Won some belts in CWA. All tag team championships. CWA tag team champion 5 times. AWA tag team champion 1 time. AWA Southern tag team champion once. And UWA tag team champion once as well. Looks like all alongside Paul Diamond as Bad Company, though, rather than, obviously, the Orient Express that we used him in before. There's that big moonsault by Terry Funk, the one that got him the victory back on Monday. Will that be enough to secure the victory here against Pat Tanaka in this match here? Oh, it's only a 2 count. Funk is busted open as well, by the way. Just spotted that. Funk now taking Tanaka up into a powerbomb position. Tanaka fighting back. And look at Terry Funk now. Oh, the stunner on Pat Tanaka. And now dropping the fist right in the face. Oh, look at Pat Tanaka, though, run straight in with a forearm. There's the pin now by Pat Tanaka on Funk. It's only a 2 count. Be interested here, though, if Pat Tanaka was to get a win over the Hardcore Championship #1 contender, what would we do? I don't think Pat Tanaka would really fit in that Hardcore Championship match, but, I mean, if he did get this victory here, we'd have to have that discussion whether he should be involved or whether we should give him some sort of other benefit from winning this match. Terry Funk now slides the table into the ring. Funk now striking it into the spine of Tanaka. And here he is, spinning toe holds by Terry Funk on Pat Tanaka. He's done damage all match and Pat Tanaka has to tap. He's tapped Panata now. And Terry Funk continues his great vein of form, moves up to a +11 after 28. That builds his momentum up, moving into that big match against The Undertaker at the weekend. Pat Tanaka then moves down to -2 after 2 matches. And it was an interesting match. I mean, both guys show good offense. But it was Terry Funk in the end who just had that extra amount. That big moonsault earlier on. The damage he'd done to the legs throughout the match eventually was enough to weaken him down for those spinning toe holds. And look at that sledgehammer strike right into the gut. Absolutely brutal. Here was that moonsault. He got great success with that earlier on in the week and was pretty successful with it again here this evening. But that was only enough for the 2 count, but it was the spinning toe holds that finally got the win. We're not going to see him, are we not? Nope. There was that running forearm by Pat Tanaka. I thought that could have been it, you know, because Funk looked absolutely flat out after that running forearm. But here it was, this spinning toe holds was enough to make Pat Tanaka tap and for Terry Funk to get the victory. We haven't used Dory Funk in quite some time. I don't think Dory was part of ECW, but it's definitely something we'll have to look at maybe when we do some more classical shows is involving the Funks. I do have a tag team tournament set up for some point. I'm not sure when we get it around to doing it, but it's going to be a longer show and it involves 5 8 tag team tournaments from different generations. So it would be, where is it? The Generational Tag Team Champions League. So it's 8 teams from the 70s, 8 from the 80s, 8 from the 90s, from the 2000s, 2010s, and the 2020s. The winners of those would all go into a round-robin style show with them all face each other once, and then of course the winners will be crowned the champions and get an opportunity to fight for the SWE Tag Team Championships. And I think the Funks are involved in that, yes. So in the 70s, we've got the Funks, the Valiants, the Briscoes, Crusher and Dick the Bruiser, the Andersons, the Wild Samoans, the Blackjacks, and Giant Baba and Jumbo Saruta. So it's a really cool idea, something we do need to have a look at potentially doing moving into 2K 2026. Either way, I'm going to love you, leave you good night, God bless, I'll be the same. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you a little bit later on this evening for Chris Benoit versus Sabu.